Last week came with the 2023 MotoGP Sepang Test, when all of the top teams tested their new bikes and riders on the famous Malaysian circuit. Was it a case of the same old story, but a different year? In today's video, we'll give you an overview of how things went down at this year's 2023 MotoGP Sepang Test, complete with insights from some of the top riders. We would also go over who was there and what kind of changes were made for the upcoming season. So stay tuned to MotoGP Thunder as we dive into this exciting topic. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more exciting news and stories from the world of MotoGP. Buckle up because it's time to hit the track. Let's go! If you're a true motorsport fan, the 2023 MotoGP test in Sepang must no longer be news to you. After all, this was the first big test for the championship series everyone was hoping for. The test was held on Friday the 10th of February, Saturday the 11th of February, and Sunday the 12th of February 2023. The first official 3-day test for the MotoGP season took place at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. The Sepang International Circuit, on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur, is a favourite of MotoGP riders because of its sweeping turns, corners and fast straights, which was a good place for a challenging and rewarding experience that will put their skills to the test. With a circuit length of 5.543 kilometers, or 3.44 miles and 15 turns. Indications of the upcoming season's development in MotoGP racing can be gleaned from the results of this season's first official test in Sepang. A few important lessons can also be learned from the test on the part of the riders, teams and manufacturers. It was a fantastic challenge for all the teams that participated. There were 25 riders who participated in the testing all in all, and everyone was working hard and collecting useful information, which would come in handy in the upcoming 2-day Portimao test, coming up on Saturday the 11th of March and Sunday the 12th of March, and the season beginning 2 weeks after, on the 26th of March with the Portuguese Grand Prix. Insightful information about which bikes have improved since last season can be gleaned from the timesheets. Riders like Maverick Vinales for Aprilia looked very promising, but some riders like Stefan Bradl riding for Honda, Katsuyuki Nakasuga riding for Yamaha, and Cal Crutchlow also riding for Yamaha still have a lot of work cut out for them if they want to have a shot at the title. The test demonstrated that we can expect more surprises and upsets than ever before during this race season, with many teams pushing each other hard throughout despite the rainy weather they experienced all 3 days of testing. Let's talk about how the testing went from the first day to the third day. The first day was on Friday the 10th of February, and the testing was held from 10 AM to 6 PM. Marco Bezzecchi's late lap of 1 minute 58.47 seconds on the 2022 Desmodici stole the show, and Aprilia's Maverick Vinales took second to break the all Ducati top 3. Enea Bastianini, Francesco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin took turns at the top to finish 3rd, 4th and 5th. Johan Zarco, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Alex Marquez and Franco Morbidelli also improved in the last hour, pushing Fabio Quartararo and Marc Marquez to 11th and 12th. Crutchlow missed Friday's official test but appeared on days 2 and 3. Ducati continued to perform at the same level as it had in November. Luca Marini of Mooney VR46, the defending world champion Pecco Bagnaia of the Lenovo Ducati team. Marini's fastest lap was 1:57.889, which put him ahead of Bagnaia. Even more worrisome for Ducati's rivals is the fact that 7 of the team's 8 riders finished in the top 9 positions. Despite the fact it's a top team, it still sends a message to the other teams that Ducati is a team to watch out for, and they aren't in the season to play. Meanwhile, Yamaha and Honda were unable to match the pace of the Desmodicis in the arena. Both companies were always playing to catch up to their Italian competitors up until 2022. After 3 days, the 2021 world champion Fabio Quartararo, riding for Monster Energy Yamaha, was in a disconcerting 19th place, while Marc Marquez riding for Repsol Honda finished in 10th place. The second day got off to a sluggish start due to the drizzle that fell in the morning, and the rain that fell in the afternoon put an end to the slick tyre action at 3 in the afternoon. After completing a small number of laps on wets this morning, conditions quickly improved to the point that slicks could be used. Day 1's leader, Marco Bezzecchi, was the first driver to break the 2-minute barrier on day 2. Bezzecchi was relegated to 10th place as a result of the rapid pace of the other riders' improvements. At that time, Pramec's Jorge Martin was the fastest rider, followed by RNF Aprilia's Miguel Oliveira. But the drizzle came again not long after that, and it forced all of the riders to head back to the pits. The rain stopped falling and riders started making their way back out onto the track. But beginning at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a steady rain began to drench the circuit. Martin was able to maintain his position as the quickest rider, despite the fact that a fall left him with extensive abrasive cuts on his right hand. The Pramac rider's time of 1 minute and 58.736 seconds was only a few tenths of a second slower than Bezzecchi's performance from Friday. Martin, who was given the opportunity to test out one of the newest Ducati fairings today, completed his time trial on the 2023 bike and declared that he's prepared to race. Despite having additional lower fairing vents installed to his prototype Yamaha today, Quartararo still managed to set another remarkable peak speed of 335.4 km per hour. This is a small improvement over yesterday's top speed. On Saturday, the only riders to go quicker through the speed trap were Bagnaia and Martin on their Ducatis. They were able to match Enea Bastianini's 336.4 km per hour from the previous day. Cal Crutchlow was asked by Yamaha to participate in additional development work on day 2 of the official test, after he participated in all 3 days of the shakedown, and then missed the first day of the test. Many riders took advantage of the rainy circumstances in the late afternoon to put their wet weather skills to the test. Yamaha's new engine was another thing to look out for during the testing. Yamaha's riders have all demanded that the company develop a more potent engine in recent years because of the brand's declining top speed. Yamaha has been working on its engine with ex-Ferrari F1 engine manager Luca Marmarini, but the results of the test in Valencia and Spain in November didn't seem to be what Yamaha had hoped for. Despite Cal Crutchlow's warnings about reading too much into speed trap data, since the timing beam is located in a braking zone, Yamaha made a respectable improvement at the Sepang shakedown. The development Honda has achieved with its motorcycle is another important aspect topic up for discussion from testing. Honda, which was winless for the second time in 3 years in 2022, has a steep hill to climb to get out of last place among manufacturers. It's also a big year for Honda, whose prized asset Marc Marquez said in November last year that he'd consider leaving the company if Honda didn't give him a bike he could win the MotoGP title on. The 8-time world champion Marc Marquez is still not impressed with the improvements Honda has made to its problematic bike since the Valencia test in November last year. Marquez said he was still far from the top after the first day of testing for the 2023 Honda in Sepang this past weekend. The Spanish rider started the test with 4 RC21 3Vs, but by the end of the day on Sunday, he'd narrowed it down to only 1, which he plans to use as a starting point for the next Portimao test later in the month. He finished the test in 10th place, 0.777 seconds behind the pace. Although Marquez has a contract until the end of 2024, an extension into the following year and beyond is expected to be discussed early on. As a result, Honda needs to immediately improve if it wants to keep Marquez for another season. That's all we have for today, folks. The Sepang test, in our opinion, was a fruitful one because each major motorcycle manufacturer had different goals going into the test, but we could say they all came away better off for it. It'll be interesting to see how these changes play out over the season, and be sure to stay tuned to MotoGP Thunder as we bring you the latest on it as it unfolds. So you don't miss out on subsequent videos, hit the subscribe button and smash the notification bell icon so you'll be notified when we next upload. See you next time!